Let me know if it What's going on, everybody? It's T Reaper, and I'm back with another video. Today we got my friend Halo Storm with me, and today we're just gonna do a quick little special. It's T Reaper, and I'm back with. We're just gonna do a quick special on the fact that we finally found Noobs on Xbox Live, and that is so freaking amazing because I thought they were all extinct. And Halo Storm was with me when we found these Noobs. And we're going to talk a little bit about
I'm
that.
a witness.
Yep, he's a witness. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus the little, I want to do a little response to Porter Rock's video. Shout out to him. He's doing his no lag stream right now. So he probably will not actually see this video while we're doing it. But shout out to everybody that chooses to watch this. And all right, let's begin. So, yeah, so Halo Storm, what'd you think about those Noobs? We went 30-0.
Dude,
That was
my
insane.
kill to death ratio was so stupidly high, it was ridiculous. Those guys sucked ass.
Yeah.
If you guys ever play Titanfall on the Xbox One, like the original one, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't
It was
know,
not like that a couple years ago.
a couple years ago, those Noobs did not. Well, they existed, but they weren't in that abundance. So that I can personally verify. And if anybody doesn't know what the original Titanfall looks like, you're watching it as we're talking, so you'll see the idea of what we're actually talking about. But it was actually kind of funny because we did like 40 matches in one night, and like I have so much footage now that I don't have to record practically for like forever, like at least not until June, like
For like 2 years and shit.
yeah, like I have so much footage, it's like it's absolutely insane. But it was funny because like I didn't actually think these Noobs honestly existed, and like in taking away from like the whole talk about Scorpio and all these different topics that everybody's talking about right now, it's just nice to know that, you know, Noobs do exist, and they exist on Xbox. Go figure. But they have to know where to find them, and to find them is simply just go on OG Titanfall, which is the original Titanfall, and it's not on Titanfall 2 because the Noobs are not there. They are on the original one. And the original one I personally like so much better than Titanfall 2, mainly because it's a lot more funner, and it's not as nerfed, and it's not as coddish, but it's still a great game, and I enjoyed playing it with Halo Storms. So
Yeah, it really was. I didn't expect it to be as fun as it was
yeah, but
after like so many years.
I personally think the only reason it was honestly that fun though was the fact that we were playing with people that honestly sucked. So it was like you were going like 20, like I went 19-0 on one match. That was like that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was like actually becoming. It was like insane, and it picked up like towards we had some matches where we weren't really doing that good, but it was still to the point where we were still in favor. So that was
There was matches that were so one-sided. I was able to text in one hand and play in the other, and I would still like go positive.
Oh,
that's how bad these Noobs were.
Oh yeah, and then it got the story ends like finally after like 30 matches we were winning, and then these randoms basically started messaging us saying stop hacking, and we weren't even hacking. We were legitimately just playing like we normally would. And I'm like, that's what you call skill, baby. And then they kick our ass, which is really funny. So it's like they kicked our ass right after,
but
right after they accused us of hacking.
The only reason why they actually beat us, they didn't even kick our ass. Like me and you broke even, and like everybody else on our team just sucked because we invited all the people that we were trash talking to our team.
Yeah,
which was not a smart move.
There was this one kid, Triact. He was like going like 0-15, like 3 matches in a row, and we're like, "Yo, good KD, bro." And he's like, "I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's sarcasm." Then we put him on our team, and then we started losing, which was really funny. But it was,
poor guy. You ever like roast somebody so bad that you feel bad that you roasted them? You're like, "Oh man, should have stopped. Shouldn't have said that."
Yeah,
that's Triac.
Yeah, that was Triac for you, and that was like he was just like one of many, and like, but the funniest part about this, and I'm sorry if this sounds so freaking like racist right now. What's up with all these Mexicans on Titanfall? Yo, like
I don't know.
Yo, I don't know if it was.
I had to kill Francisco.
Yeah, you had to kill some
Rodriguez.
Franciscos, Rodriguez. You know, you had all these Mexican tags that were just like. I mean, I understood it was Cinco de Mayo weekend, but like seriously, I'm like, what is up with all these Mexicans? It was that amusing
It
and
was
that funny.
hilarious.
It was that amusing.
Maybe like Titanfall is still like popular in Mexico or something.
Well, I don't. Well, it was on. We were on the Eastern Seaboard server, so maybe if they're on that eastern section of Mexico, maybe that counts to them. But I doubt it. It was just really funny, and then all these tags you could tell were like really new to Xbox Live because they all had like under 5,000 gamer score. when you were
Yeah,
going
that was
when
crazy.
you were going down the list of all the noobs, they were all like 5K, 4K, 3K. It was actually funny. I don't think I actually saw a tag that had like over 20K, but it was funny.
Not even close. Not even close to 20K.
But it was immensely entertaining, and I forgot how fun this game can actually be if put in the right circumstances and put in the right situation. But yeah, I haven't uploaded in a while, so I apologize for that. But it's just been really busy, and I've been getting so relaxed. And the one reason we're not doing the traditional podcast tonight is because Jay and Rambo and I don't know where the hell Sooner is, but they all wanted to take a break. So like Jay is out with his family right now. Shout out to him. Rambo, I don't know what he's doing, but I do know that he did not get back to me. So I just figured I'd do this like quick little special on the noobs, and also like I said, the reaction to Porter Rock. Now, Halo Storm, you said you couldn't watch his stream because his stream was broken, right?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it like after his stream, but I was like, I can't really watch this. It's not even live.
Yeah,
So like 15 minutes in, I kind of just quit.
I think after his stream was over, it corrected itself because I was able to watch it all the way through, and he said some pretty interesting comments about Phil Spencer, and how it's not about the whole situation where Phil Spencer said when it becomes more about the piece of plastic, and rather than the games that you play, you feel that you lost the point, which is basically hi, CB. I'm just gonna call you CB because I honestly can't say your name. But yeah, Porter Rock was basically talking about the Phil Spencer tweet, and my take on that is, I think Phil Spencer really just doesn't like this console war, and he doesn't, anytime that console wars ensued, Phil Spencer wants to open his mouth, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. Phil Spencer wants us all to get along, but in all reality, that's just not how. That's not how this console war rolls. We don't get along with each other, and if we honestly get along with each
Yeah,
other,
unfortunately.
it's if we all get along with each other, it's because we're all neutrals, and and then neutrals just don't give a fuck. So it's like it's that type of thing, and then you have all of Crap Gamer's recent videos, which were kind of interesting. I still think Crap Gamer needs to lay off that Scorpio topic just a little bit.
I love how Crap Gamer was like, I love the console. He was like, I love the console war. It's good.
Well, I think
I don't know.
I think he loves the console war right now because it's giving him views and it's giving him something to actually like promote. But
I think he just has fun with it.
yeah,
I thought he was trolling when he said that.
I don't think Crap. I don't think Crap actually and honestly knows how to troll. He's not much of a he is an entertainer, but he's not much of a he can't really troll. Like he doesn't actually know how. Like
The art of trolling is hard.
yeah, like
sometimes.
to him trolling is actually really hard. Yeah, yeah, and for the views, CB, I agree there. And I watch his stuff. Occasionally, he sounds depressed as fuck, which hasn't happened in over 8 months. So I give Crap Gamer, that applause for actually not sounding so depressed. That is a positive thing. But I think he's just waiting for that 4K resolution to come out for the Scorpio. I think that's what he's so hyped about. So that's why he's not sounding as depressed as he used to sound when he was just talking about random shit. But the whole Porter Rock video was actually really entertaining. But Porter Rock actually said something, and I tweeted him on Twitter and said, Porter Rock, I bought the PlayStation 4 just to piss on it. Does that mean does that mean there's something wrong with me? And he kind of liked the tweet, but he didn't respond to it. So I'm kind of curious tomorrow on the multiplayer podcast I'm gonna ask him about it because I'm kind of curious what he honestly would say to that, because he was saying that how we're all gamers at the end of the day, and he doesn't care what console you play. But I still find it kind of amusing that he's still a pony, and he's talking like he's a bot, which is kind of that's kind of debatable in itself. Like he doesn't not like he personally said he doesn't hate Xbox, but at the same time you don't own one and you don't play one, so why on earth should I honestly listen to you? But he did make some good points about the Phil Spencer tweet, and I agree with him on those points. But the points where it becomes where the difference between the hardcore gamer and the casual, and that's the biggest that's my biggest gripe, to be perfectly honest. And anybody who disagrees with this can call me out on it. I don't really care. The biggest problem with all the media right now, and this is so true about everybody, and I could list names. Everybody is a casual. There's not a single person on this mother goddamn media besides maybe the Call of Duty fanatics, maybe like Drifter, Thunder, and T Martin. Maybe those would be like the hardcore, those hardcore YouTubers that like legitimately do this shit for money and that are like basically complaining about the COD ad ban and all that kind of stuff. And that was like kind of the other side of YouTube where COD World War II is now being banned from advertisements and stuff like that. So like the COD people aren't making their money. But it's actually, everybody else that's like not a COD fanatic, they're all casuals. So like I kind of have a hard time listening to everybody's view because in my point of view, like no one's as hardcore or uses their or uses their or
nobody
uses,
I know is that hardcore. Like
yeah, no, like no one.
I don't know anybody that buys every single game.
Yeah, I think I am of a dying breed that legitly buys pretty much the games that I want to play, and I legitly have my system on. I'll put it in perspective. So there's about 160 something hours out of the week. I have my system on 140. So like only about 20 hours of the week is my system not on. So, but if you compare that to people such as Next Gen 720, you compare that to people like Dealer, you compare that to people like Porter Rock, they don't actually do that because they do this as a hobby and they don't actually take this gaming shit actually to the extreme as Porter Rock was, as stating. So, like, when you compare the people that do it for the casual hobby to those who actually, choose their system to actually live on, it's kind of hard to listen to the casuals because, half the time they just do it for fun and they don't take it as serious as other people. Like, what do you think, Halo?
Yeah, and they're also not as vocal as the hardcore are.
Yeah,
none of the casuals are really on Twitter.
Oh, you know who the one person probably the most hardcore on Twitter is Tim Dog. He's on every single tweet.
Yo, that dude is a real Xbox supporter.
Yeah,
I give him that.
He's on every single tweet. That guy I would classify as a hardcore, at least a hardcore, media supporter, because he's in every single tweet that they put out on the media. Like every single time you see a Phil Spencer tweet, Tim Dog's like name is like right beneath Phil Spencer, asking him a question. And I don't, the only time I tweet executives is when I tweeted Andrew House, to show my little joke, and that was pretty much it. But, the reason Yoshida doesn't have a Twitter is probably because he doesn't want to get spammed. And so, Andrew House is the one getting spammed for Sony. And Phil Spencer loves talking to the community, but this is where I agree with Porter Rock. Getting everybody to like what you're doing is not always the best thing. It's more of you're there to do a job. Please just do your job, and then we'll all be happy and we'll all be playing games. So it's kind of like in that.
Yeah, but you don't want him to stop talking either. Like I don't get Porter Rock's point.
You don't want Phil Spencer to stop talking to the community completely, even though there is a portion of the community that Phil Spencer doesn't necessarily agree with. But I think that if you spend more of your time, delivering to the community rather than talking about it, I think you're more likely to appease what people want. But you can't honestly please everybody, and when you try to please everybody, it doesn't really end up that well because trying to please everybody is
that's the one thing I will say that Phil Spencer isn't doing right. He's trying to please everybody, and he just can't.
Yeah, you can't.
It just can't be done.
You can't please everybody on Xbox, which is kind of the major thing. Is like you have to either please the competitive side of Xbox, or you can please the casual side of Xbox, but you can't. I don't think you can honestly please both. But there is a new feature that I just realized I had on my Xbox, which is the party overlay. Did you get that update yet?
No, I didn't check it out. Is that like a new update?
It's a new update. It's where So if you're in a party and you're like you're watching TV or you're playing a game, the people's names appear on kind of like how this video is right now. You appear your names in the party appear on screen. So it's actually pretty cool. So you could be the party could not be snapped. You could still see who's talking in the party. So if I'm in a party with you on Xbox and I have the overlay on, like your name appears on screen while I'm playing Titanfall, and we're talking.
That's pretty cool. I think that's going to be for what's it called, picture in picture.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna implement that soon.
So because I knew the picture in picture was kind of like the replacement for Snap, and that still hasn't come out yet. But this overlay kind of shows what it might look like if they introduce the picture in picture replacement for Snap, which is basically it will basically put a picture in like the certain part of the screen that you want it. But it's actually a pretty cool thing, and I only spent like 3 minutes with it, but it was actually pretty cool because I was in a party with my friend Sable, and like I had the overlay on, and me and Sable were talking while I was watching Porterrock's videos, so it was like blinking.
That's very handy. I used to do that with Snap. I used to listen to podcasts and like play games
and
at
I
the
think
same
this
time.
is probably going to be most useful for Beam streamers. So when they're
big time.
So when they're like streaming with Beam and they're in a party on Xbox, the people that are watching them stream on Beam can see who's talking in the party. So that will actually be mad useful as hell.
I feel like Connect was wasted. Like Connect totally could have used that. Like if they had it where like you could have the Connect camera with your friend and you could play with him at the same time, so you could like see his reactions as you're playing something. You know how awesome that would be?
Yeah, and CB is right. It's like, you know, it's really useful to know who's talking, especially if you have a party of like 12 people and like you don't know exactly who's talking or who just joined. So if you're like away from your television and you have the overlay on, you can see like who's actually talking on screen, and you don't even have to, you know, actually snap the party, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that was like
that's the one reason. That's like the one gripe I have with the Scorpio. It's not the power. I'm actually pretty happy with it. The only thing is they didn't put a Connect port on it, which kind of like,
well,
it's like, wow.
I personally think that's because they're trying to shy away from the Connect altogether. To be perfectly honest, like I don't even use my Connect anymore. Like ever since the Xbox became like totally Connectless with like Cortana, like there's no use for a Connect. I understand there are people that actually adore that device and actually love it and love using it, but like for me, ever since they added Cortana, that's like the replacement for Connect. And it's like,
yeah, it is like Connect isn't super useful, but I felt like they kind of squandered on the Connect. Like,
yeah, because
they made like shitty Connect games and like they didn't support it enough with like third-party games.
Connect Sports, like I used to play the Connect Sports on bowling, and I maxed myself out on that bowling feature, and that was like the only sport that I played on that game. But that was like the only Connect game that I honestly liked. Like Rise originally was a Connect game where you would actually you would scream commands for the actual game, like if everybody was to like basically shield wall or launch arrows or launch attack, those type of commands on Rise were actually really cool when the Connect first came out. But ever since Cortana and ever since everything is now voice activated, and everything can be done through a mic, you don't really need the Connect anymore. And then there are certain YouTubers like the Big Kahuna who still use the Connect for his videos and stuff like that. But it can always be better used with a webcam on a PC and stuff like that. Like the PC version of editing is so much better than Upload Studios. It's like not even funny. Don't tell Mr. Xbox 448 I said that though, because then he'll kill me. Because that guy.
Wait, what did you say? Wait, what did you say that you said he'll kill you?
That Upload Studio is a piece of shit.
It is a piece of shit. Even he knows it's a piece of shit. I use it and it's a piece of shit.
Don't tell Xbot that, because Xbot loves that shit. That's how he does everything.
How could he love Upload Studio?
He loves Upload Studio. He loves that.
Well, this is the same guy that said he liked Halo 4, so.
Xbot loves Halo 5, I think. I haven't actually ever heard him say.
No, I talked to him and he's like, "What? You don't like Halo 4?" I was like, "Yeah, I didn't like Halo 4. That shit was garbage compared to the first 3."
It was better than Reach. I think the one that was most garbage.
No, it wasn't.
I hate
Reach.
Reach is my least favorite.
Nah, Halo 4 was trash. Like, in every single way. I never got to play the multiplayer in Halo 4, but everything I've heard about the multiplayer was also bad. And I played the campaign,
Well, the
and it's the
campaign.
most annoying campaign I've ever
Well, the
played.
campaign is pure depression, is what that is. It's pure. You're slowly watching Cortana like basically fade into rampancy. That's basically
I
it.
didn't even have a problem with that. They just did it so wrong. Like I had a problem. I was facing like the final boss of the game, and I got completely stuck because the game told me to use the wrong button. Like it literally told me to use like left trigger when I was supposed to use like right bumper or something, and I just kept dying and dying, and I had no idea why, and I had to look it up, and I was like, "What do you mean the game told me to press the wrong button?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The I
that
like
shit like ruined the whole game for me
I played
because that was like the most epic moment of the game. Like they couldn't have chose a worse time to have a glitch like that.
Yeah, and the funny part is like the Halo 4 campaign could legitimately be run in under 3 hours. That was kind of the saddest part about it. It
It didn't
legitimately
feel that short. It didn't feel short.
it
It
can be
just it was
it,
grueling. I didn't like it.
yeah. Well, I think what was grueling was the Spartan Ops the side co-op experience that they added that took place after
Yeah,
Halo
that's
4.
extra though. I'm not.
But that
I'm
was
never
like
gonna take points for extra shit.
yeah, but that was like super laggy. Like there was so much stuff wrong with that, on the 360 that it wasn't even funny. Like that stuff was like so laggy. Like it was like the story was interesting and I liked the story. I wish they did a season 2 of that, but it was like so poorly like infrastructured that like the campaign made it look so much better. CV, I don't like the Reach campaign because the Reach campaign is inaccurate to the book. If they had done it correctly to what the book actually stated, I would have liked it better. But they chose a different route with the Spartan threes, and I just didn't like that tone for Reach. And
Halo
plus,
Reach was nice. Halo Reach actually, I think, competes with like the first two Halo games, which is
yeah, but
saying a lot.
it's also inaccurate. It's not technically the story of like if you actually read the book, it's not it. That's
Yeah, I
not
didn't read the
you
books,
gotta
so
read
I didn't have a problem with it.
you gotta read the book. If you read the book for the Fall of Reach, you're gonna see the inaccuracy and like how poorly it was honestly made.
Everything happened the wrong way.
Well, it wasn't even like that's not even the story of Reach. The story of Reach is legitly like how like Master Chief became Master Chief. That's like the whole concept of the Fall of Reach. Like it was like the book like starts from when Dr. Halsey discovers the children. Like, did you ever watch the Fall of Reach, the animated series?
Yeah, I hated that movie. That
That
movie was
that
horrible.
that actually covers the first half of the book. That doesn't cover the
Well, I'm
full.
glad they changed it then because the Halo Reach
Yeah.
game was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that doesn't that covers the first half of the book, but it doesn't cover the wholeness of the book because the wholeness of the book is then when it turns to John has to retrieve Cortana and then basically get on the Pillar of Autumn and stuff like that. So like that part is actually in the game, and actually if you play the Halo Reach game, you actually can see Master Chief in the Pillar of Autumn if you turn the camera correctly. He's actually in there as like a nice Easter egg, but it's not the actual story of like the actual Spartan twos and basically how
I
basically
liked
all
Reach a lot because it was the only Halo game where like you played as yourself, and like I found that so cool.
yeah,
And like the upgrades in that game were really good.
but the only thing that was like faithful to it was the fact that everybody died. That's the only thing that was like
Well,
faithful to
not
him.
well. They didn't show. I think his name is June or something. They didn't show him dying.
Everybody eventually dies. Everybody,
Well, thanks for spoiling it
yeah,
for me that June is dead.
yeah, everybody eventually dies. Like if you read the books, like later on in like the Ghost of Onyx, I think is what it is. I could be wrong. You know who actually knows a lot about that would be Jay Sentries. He could depict that, but
Oh yeah,
I
he
haven't.
sent me like 15,000 links to like Halo stuff
Yeah,
already.
yeah, Jay Sentries would be able to like basically tell you when June dies, but it's like eventually everybody does die. That's in that game. but it's like it wasn't the original story of Reach, and the original story of Reach was so classic, and like it was all about John and his team originally becoming Spartans, and their first main mission, their first major tragedy, and how they all got split up at the end, and basically how they found Cortana and all that kind of interesting fun facts. So that was kind of the
Yeah, I liked Reach because I took it as kind of like a non-canon prequel when I started it.
yeah, but the way Bungie did it was just like this final, fuck you to Microsoft, saying this is the last Halo game we're gonna make, and we're gonna make it really, really, really trashy. So it's like I didn't like it.
I liked it. I didn't think it was trashy at all. I think it was 100 times better than Halo 4. That's for sure.
I liked Halo 4 a little bit better.
Why did you like Halo 4?
I liked Halo 4's story, and I liked its multiplayer. I like Halo 5's multiplayer better, but I still like Halo 4's like multiplayer. Like the two Halos that I dislike the most is Reach would be number one, and then Halo 3 is number two. Like I would
You
still
hate Wait, you hate Halo 3?
yeah, I do. I hate
Why?
I hate Halo 3.
What possible reason could you have to hate on Halo 3?
I hate Halo 3's hit system. I hate it.
Yeah, that's a stupid complaint.
Yeah, I hate
Halo
it.
3 was epic.
All the other Halos have really good hit systems. Halo 3's is absolutely horrible. I hate it.
I'm gonna have to go back to Halo 3 and test it.
Yeah, everybody.
Because it's been a long time since I played.
Everyone's Halos have a hit system, and even Reach had it had a hit system, but it wasn't like formulated. So it was like because you had the extra, because they weren't true Spartans, so they had that extra layer of health. But Halo 3's hit system was just like absolutely terrible, and I absolutely hated it. But that's just my honest opinion. I'm not a Halo 3 fan. So like when you have like Xbox.
Damn, dude, what about the campaign, bro? Like the campaign was so good in Halo 3.
The campaign was okay. I didn't have a problem with the campaign. I just have an issue with its multiplayer. So like but those are the only two Halos that I totally do not like. So like when you have like people like Xbot or everybody saying that that's been recently debunked that a Halo 3 anniversary was going to come out, I honestly wouldn't care, and I probably wouldn't buy it because with the Master Chief Collection,
I wouldn't buy it either.
With Master Chief Collection, you already have Halos 1 through 4 in
exactly.
it, and with backwards compatibility, you already have Reach on the Xbox One, and you have ODST. So all the Halos are actually on the Xbox One and playable on the Xbox One. So they actually did that. Now I think the real kicker would be to get all the Call of Duties to be playable on Xbox One, and they still haven't.
They're gonna get that eventually.
Eventually, I think they'll.
They got Black Ops 2. They're gonna get everything else.
Yeah, I would like Modern Warfare 2. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that one's my favorite too.
That's my favorite.
I like the campaign in that one a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, out of recent issues, I mean, I can't wait for E3. Yeah, Halo 2 is actually my favorite. Yeah, that's my personal favorite.
Halo 2 is my second favorite. I like the original the most, more than any other Halo game.
Yeah, but I personally liked Halo 2 because that's where Xbox Live started, and that's that was the launch of Xbox Live, and back in the day when when I was a little kid, that's what I always used to play on Xbox Live on the OG Xbox. So
Halo 2 was like the uprising of Halo. Halo 3 was like the freaking, you get to the steepest top of the hill.
Well, if you want to be technical, like Halo 3 was the golden age of Halo. That's basically like, and everybody is trying to duplicate that age that we're now in with Halo 5, and with Halo 6 coming out in like maybe next year or the year after. They're trying to get back to that that ancient like old school time of Halo 3 where everybody was playing Halo, and I think that
everybody loved it.
Yeah, everybody loved it, and it was like the best thing to play on Xbox, and back then it was on the 360, But I personally don't. I think Halo is somewhat now evolving to where people don't necessarily like all of what they're doing to Halo, and it's becoming more of a a COD replica than anything else. But I personally don't believe that. I personally love playing Halo. I'll play other games from time to time, but if anybody wants to play customs on Halo 5, I'll play that. Even Halo 2, even though I would have to like play like at least 10 games before I got used to the Halo 2 algorithm again. But it was like that was like what I loved I loved Halo 2's like multiplayer. That was like my favorite stuff, and that's why I always play on Lockout
Yeah,
because
Halo 2 is like probably the best one overall. The only problem I had with Halo 2 is if you played the campaign on Legendary, it was incredibly unfair
yeah,
compared to the first one.
that was like the one of the only ones where you actually if you died it restarted you at checkpoint. Like you couldn't respawn. That was like the hardest part about the Halo 2 thing was like if you died
Halo
on
2
legendary.
was hard. Dude, you could literally start a level and die in like a millisecond. You could die before the menu screen finishes. I'm not even joking.
Oh wow.
That's how bad Halo 2's Legendary is. I tried to beat it recently. It took me a while, but I did it, and I did it with the Mythic Skull. It's not impossible. You just have to do absolutely everything perfect,
Okay.
which is a little bit unfair because the sniper jackals and like all this other shit just comes to kill you.
Yeah, the I mean, I don't necessarily right now I'm just trying to honestly relax. That's basically what I'm personally trying to honestly do, do right now. Oh, we did talk about Porter Rock saying don't take Phil personally because I think Phil is just trying to please everybody, and at the end of the day, I just don't think he's gonna appease everybody. I think there's gonna be always someone that wants something or always has some small issue with what he's doing. You know, you can't can't make everybody happy. There's always gonna be that small portion of people that aren't gonna be happy.
Yeah, no matter what he does.
Um,
I think Phil Spencer's a good guy, and I think he's probably the best guy Xbox has.
yeah,
So I
I
don't
think
see how anybody could possibly complain about him. He hasn't even had enough time for people to see his games. But people are judging him because all the deals have been like Don Matrick deals. What if he has like 10 games we don't know about? You don't know.
yeah, we honestly don't know anything until E3 things, and that kind of comes up to my my other thing. And I was actually going to make I kind of did make a video somewhat about this, but it was more about first party issues. But everybody needs to like legitly stop bitching about the Xbox lineup. That is like starting to get really annoying. And you have
It's really sad. Like most of them are trolls too.
most of them are trolls, but the like the biggest ones like are like the hard like the ones that call themselves hardcore. You know, the hardcore media are the ones that are bitching about it.
Yeah. But they'll say like power and resolution was the shit from like 2013 to 2016,
Yeah, but now
and
it's all about the
exclusives didn't mean shit.
and now that Scorpio is like shifting that resolution argument. Now it's all about the games, and then when you really compare Sony to Microsoft, yes, Sony has more games than Xbox if you're talking about first party. But to me personally, quantity doesn't always equal quality, and you can just see how
Yeah, that's how
see
I see it.
yeah, quantity doesn't always equal quality. So like it's like you can have all like over 50 Jap titles. Some are indie titles. Some are some are like games that are really famous in Japan, but they don't really sell that well in the United States. And then you could have like the Horizon Zero Dawn is probably the major one that sold okay in the United States, but most of the stuff is all multiplats. So like, and I said this in my other video
Yeah.
last week is like, multiplats is what really rules these consoles, and all that really comes down to the choice of the matter is what kind of controller you like to use and what ecosystem you like to play on. So if those two are the only two factors dictating what you play, you can basically play whatever types of games you want on these consoles and just choose which of those two you like. Do you like the DualShock controllers, or do you like the Xbox One controller? Do you like PSN, or do you like Xbox Live? It's as simple as those two choices. So it's like it's really annoying to hear people bitch about the lineup when in all reality the lineup doesn't really mean that much when all the games
The
are
lineup
mostly
has never been bad. Like
it's never
people act like
it's
Xbox has never had a game
yeah,
come out
it's
that's
not
been
like the lineup is
exclusive.
horrible because like I can name all the games that I'm going to be playing my on my Xbox this fall like right now, and majority of them are all multiplats because that's mainly what I play. The only exclusives that I play Xbox for are Gears and Halo, and we're not going to see one of those titles this year. So it's all multiplats that really rule the ecosystem of Xbox Live and PSN. And this year, I guarantee it's going to be the Call of Duty or it's going to be the Destiny 2 that's going to be ruling that multiplayer. And then you have Battlefront 2, you have Red Dead Redemption 2, you have Shadow of War, and you have the new Assassin's Creed, which everybody is talking so highly of. And I'm like, just, they say it's 3 times the size of Black Flag, but I'm like I want to actually see the game first. Show me the game first, and then let me beat it, and then I'll honestly decide for myself whether this was actually worth a year off. Because
Yeah.
they had a year
I
off.
tried For Honor and it was so disappointing. I literally
Oh,
couldn't even start the game.
For Honor story was disappointing as hell. I didn't hate the game,
Oh,
but
it's a multiplayer only game, right?
well, it has a story. It does have a story, and then the story was
I didn't know that.
the
I
story.
tried to play it and it just the server was like always down every time I tried to play it, so I couldn't even play it.
Well, the story is like under 7 hours long. Yeah, CB Black Flag was badass. I liked Black Flag. I recently completed Assassin's Creed Rogue, which I had never played. See, that's actually me going 11-1 on this match. We finally get to I didn't realize what footage I was picking when I was choosing these matches, so I was like, yeah, this one was us going 11-1, which was actually kind of funny. Yeah, I liked Black Flag. I liked Rogue, but my favorite Assassin's Creed, and I've been listening to recent people. A lot of people hate this one, but I love Assassin's Creed 3. That was my personal favorite. And out of the recent gen, I gotta say Syndicate is my favorite because I liked the Jack the Ripper DLC. That was actually really fun to play. But I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I could never get into Assassin's Creed because there was always a new one, so I didn't find it. I didn't find a single player game that came out every year worth my money.
Yeah, well, the Assassin, all of them are decent, except maybe perhaps for Unity, because Unity was basically a love story that honestly had so many glitches at launch it wasn't even funny. They launched a broken game, and then it took almost 3 months to fix, which was really annoying. But luckily I was able to beat it without actually crashing my game too many times. But it's those Unity was probably the worst, and then Black Flag was interesting. I beat that twice. I liked Syndicate. Syndicate was probably my favorite Templar Grandmaster fight, and plus the duel with the twins, and it actually introduced the formula from Unity, but it upgraded it. So this time you actually had to upgrade your character as you went through the story, and actually you found a boosting situation where you could boost your character to the highest level within 4 hours of boxing matches. You just had to take your character, go into a boxing match, and just level up for 4 hours, and then you could go right through the game. It was that simple. But the overall, it's just the recent media and the recent news is it's nothing it's nothing that special. It's just I wish that people would spend less time bitching and more time gaming. Would probably be the easiest way to honestly describe it, because there's been a lot of complaining, and I just don't. Just stop complaining. Why are you complaining? I just don't understand it. Everybody's complaining.
Oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah, I just looked at something that somebody posted. There's gonna be a Super Nintendo version of the Switch, and it looks really cool. It looks like the Super Nintendo. Looks pretty cool.
Okay, you're not talking about the 2DS, are you?
No, I'm talking about the Nintendo Switch. There's gonna be a Super Nintendo skinned one.
Wow,
it looks pretty sweet.
Wow, Nintendo, you doing that
I'm
bad?
gonna post it on my Discord.
That you wanna.
Yo, it looks mad nice. It actually looks pretty cool. I would buy that.
Yeah, I think I personally think the fans that are probably the worst right now are probably the Nintendo ones. They're the ones that are probably the most annoying to listen to, because you only have
these PlayStation dudes. I don't see that many Nintendo dudes talking shit.
Yeah, but that you gotta realize that they only have Zelda, and then and then they have Mario Kart that was also on the Wii U. So it's you have Mario Kart 8, and then you got Breath of the Wild, and that's pretty much all. And they're not even going to be at E3 this year, which is also really annoying. But last time they were at E3, they showed Breath of the Wild. That was the only thing they showed at E3. It was like a 60
That's
minute.
just sad. And
It was
people say that like Nintendo has better games than Xbox, and I'm like, they're not even showing up to E3 this year, and you're still saying that they have better games to show.
yeah. I honestly, I wouldn't necessarily listen to
It's
that.
just like everybody that like I see on YouTube just hates Xbox for some reason.
I mean, you can't really get I you can't get everybody to love it, and you honestly can't honestly give everybody to like it. But in all reality, like it really comes down, in my personal opinion, it comes down to, are you a competitive gamer, or are you more of that single player contraction? Because if you're that single player contraction, like I said last time, that's what PSN is for. That's what PlayStation is for. That's that single player experience, and they have loads of them. If you're that multiplayer guy, then I would suggest Xbox. And if you're somewhat in between, Xbox does have decent single player games, but they don't have an abundance of them. And then you have all these
Yeah, and the
people.
same goes for Sony. They have like one or two good multiplayer games, but not an abundance of them. It goes that way for both of them. They're just opposite.
Yeah, it's like revert. It's like talking about it in reverse. So you have Xbox that focuses on the multiplayer aspect of gaming, and then you have and has a few single players, and then you have Sony that focuses on the single player experience because it can be played offline, but has a few decent multiplayer. But most of the stuff that they play on PSN is like multiplats anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're playing Battlefield and Call of Duty.
But the big one is actually Destiny. That's like the biggest one they play on PSN is like Destiny and
Yeah,
GTA.
because it was marketed. It was marketed by Sony, so I
Yeah,
would say
and
probably. I would think all the Halo guys probably went to PS4. Like the Halo 3 guys that like didn't like Halo 4 and
um,
5.
I mean, I liked four. I played the shit out of four. I actually have like
Halo 4 was dog shit, T-Reaper. It was so bad. It was so
I
horrible
like
to play.
I liked Halo 4. I actually played a lot
T-Reaper,
of that
Halo
game.
4 was so bad, I felt depressed for a week. That's how
Uh,
bad it was.
I don't know. I mean, I could probably name a couple of those games that I feel depressed. Like anytime I go anywhere near like an indie title, I honestly feel depressed.
Like any indie title.
Any indie title, and that's also like the hey Havoc, what's up? Um, that's also like
What's going on, Havoc? I'm not looking at the chat. I'm playing Gears of War 4 at the same time.
yeah, like the um yeah, like any of these guys that claim to be hardcore Xbox, you just look at their game
Their
collection.
gamer score, their
Well, you
achievements,
look at
their
you look
time
at you look
played.
you look
Look
at
at
their
anything.
you look at their gamer score, and about a third of that gamer score all comes from like 360 titles to indies. Like that's how that's like
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
sad.
not not a lot of them come from like current gen triple A's, and it's kind of funny to see that comparison to sometimes because they talk all this shit that they love Xbox, they play on Xbox, and in all reality your gamer score comes from 360 titles and indie titles like the Candleman, uh,
Yeah. And
or
people like
simply
pretend like the 360 was 1,000 times better than the Xbox One. But if it really was, people would still be playing on it.
yeah. But
Like, it's really not.
yeah, it's
The
like,
Xbox One is just like the 360. It's just better.
well, I personally
Like,
think
what
that's
did the
what the I
360
think
have? That
I think that's what the Scorpio is trying to market itself as, is the next like
No,
version
I
of
think the
360.
Scorpio is trying to be like the original Xbox, where it had a low price. It was stronger than most PCs at the time. It had x86 architecture. It was way more powerful than the competition, and it had a lot of good exclusive games, but they were also on PC. So I would say it would be just like the OG Xbox, which I love. That's like my favorite console of all time.
Oh, okay. I mean, like I think yeah, because the reason I think it's becoming more of a 360 like marketing thing is because they're trying to put all the multiplats, like the best versions of them, on the Scorpio, which is like why I think it's like more mirrors the 360 rather than the OG Xbox. But that's just
Yeah,
because.
but on the OG Xbox, it was an even bigger difference than the PS2. It was literally twice as powerful as the PS2.
Really? I
Yeah,
because I knew the PS2 had more games.
it had great games too, though. The original Xbox.
The only games I remember playing on the OG Xbox was like was the original two Halos, um, the original Splinter Cell, and Gotham Racing. That was like the last time. Legit, I'm not even joking. I'm being like,
Yeah, there's like
you have all these people
hundreds.
you have all these people
There's
loving
hundreds of hidden
Forza right now.
gems.
You have all these people loving Forza
Yeah,
right now, but I have not played a racing game in over 15 years. Like
forever.
like forever since the original OG Xbox was the last time I played a racing game. I don't
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
never been a racing guy, but like I love Forza Horizon. Like that's how good that game is. I don't even usually like racing games. The only racing games that I liked was Midnight Club 3 and Forza Horizon. Like every other racing game I've hated.
yeah, but that's just like it's it's just kind of insane. But um to wrap up because we've actually been doing this. Damn, holy shit, we've been doing this for 45 minutes. Holy crap. Yeah, to wrap up for the day, like noobs do exist. They're on this game called OG Titanfall, and
Yeah,
supposedly it's mad cheap.
and
So
they suck.
yeah, you want a fun experience? Go pick up the first Titanfall. God knows it needs more population, even after 3 years of launch. It could definitely use more players, and it's actually really fun. The only side effect is it doesn't have a campaign. But it was actually really fun. Don't always listen to what everybody's bitching about because half the time it's everybody's opinion. And at the end of the day, Phil Spencer is doing the best he can. Give him a little bit more time. Give him to E3. That's when I
Give him
would
some
actually.
credit, man. Like look
Yeah,
at how bad the Xbox was from like 2014 to 2016.
yeah.
Like it was in like a bad state, and he turned it around. I think the Xbox One S is more like the 360. It's even white, and like
Well,
it reminds me of the 360
I have a
because
Gears of
like
War
Gears of
4.
War 4 launched.
I have a Gears of War 4 Slim and a white one. So I have a red one and a white one. Um,
Yeah, does it remind you of the 360?
Kinda, yeah. That this is another thing I wanted to add in real quick. The HDR 4Ks because I had this I saw this pony post this morning when I woke up, and this guy asked legitimately everybody who's promoting Scorpio, how many of you actually have 4K HDR televisions? Now, I can personally say I have a 4K television, but I don't have an HDR television. So that's kind of like,
It doesn't even matter because it's going to use super sampling. Like
yeah,
people are stupid.
like
You could have a 720p TV. It's still going to look better than the PS4 Pro. It doesn't matter.
yeah. But if you only have a 720p TV, then that means your thing only goes in HD.
Yeah, but it'll still super sample it.
Yeah, but
It'll still have ultra settings. It'll still look much better.
I'm kind of curious how many people actually have 4Ks because I was just talking to my friend on in the party and he said that his brother doesn't even have an HDMI television. Like how long has HDMI been
What?
yeah, he does his brother doesn't even have an HDMI television. Like how long has HDMI been a thing? Like how do you not have one
You know what
already?
it is? Casuals buy TVs like every 10 years.
Yeah, but
Like they don't
HDMI
buy TVs often at all.
HDMI came into tuition during the last 2 years of 360 because I even remember the 360 Slim had the HDMI port in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how old HDMI televisions are. I mean, you have the new ones now with the 2.0 and stuff like that, but HDMI has been a thing for quite a while now. And someone who just doesn't have one is like someone who doesn't have an HD TV. Which I do know people like that, but that's going a little too far.
Yeah.
If you
I
don't
know
have
a
an
lot of
HD
people like that too.
if you don't have an HD television, that's just totally insane.
Yeah, that's just like ew. Like ew, I don't even want to watch on that.
Yeah, you gotta have at least an HD television. You don't
A
necessarily
lot of
have
people
you
don't
don't
even
necessarily
know what like 720p is and like
yeah
1080p is.
or what's 4K. So many people are are like that. They don't even know what 4K is, and then when they go to
They have no idea.
they go to a Best Buy or a Walmart, they try to explain to them. Well, just think of it as 1080p times four.
Yeah,
That's
that's
basically
basically what it is.
that's basically what it is, and but I don't really think this whole 4K 60 this whole the way that everybody's preaching it is gonna matter so much as what you're actually gonna play on it. At the end of the day, resolution is is resolution, but what you're actually experiencing and the actual entertainment piece is what really matters. So I think it's going to matter more on
Hey
the
man,
frame rate.
you gotta have the screen on to play your game, right? I'm just
Yeah, you
saying.
got to have the TV to make it work. Yeah, that would help because then you'd be able to see the screen. But I'm just saying that I think the games are going to matter more than the resolution.
Man, I'm telling you, Xbox is gonna bring the games this year. I have a feeling they're gonna have better games this year than PlayStation. And I know people are gonna hang me for saying that
I
because
mean,
of the way everybody's been talking about Xbox. But
yeah,
Crackdown 3 is coming out this year. That game's gonna be awesome.
yeah, we got Crackdown
State of
3.
Decay 2.
Okay.
A lot of people in the Xbox community have been hyping it up. They got me hyped. I looked at it. I played the first one recently. It's a glitchy mess, but if they really fix it up in the sequel, it's going to be awesome. And Sea of Thieves, I'm not excited for, but I know a lot of casuals that are. So that game,
Yeah,
I think, is going to do
I
good.
think I want Sea of Thieves. I want Crackdown 3, and then like the rest, I honestly don't care about because I all the rest are all multiplats. But I'm really curious to find out. I'm anxious to find out my own personal bet. And my own personal bet is what is going to be the longest game this year, and I'm dying to know that. I'm dying to know, is it going to be
What do you mean by the
Destiny?
longest?
Like how, like, because all of these games so far have taken under 15 hours to beat. There's not been a single one that I've completed with over 20 hours or more. Like everything is done within 15 hours. So I'm kind of curious which one of like the remainder of this gaming season of 2017, like which one of these games out of all of them is going to be the longest one to complete. And something is telling me that,
I think Shadow War,
yeah,
maybe.
that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm guessing it's gonna be Shadow of War. It's gonna be a tie between Shadow of War and the Red Dead Redemption 2. I have a really good feeling that it's gonna tie between those two because the original Shadow of Mordor was rather short. It was about 22 hours long. Um, Also, I had a nice little wouldn't necessarily call it a bitch fight, but I had a nice little argument with this guy on a Witcher 3 post saying that the game took him 90 to 100 hours, and I was telling him how I finished it in 55. So, and he was like, "Well, you were either speedrunning it or you were doing it on easy." And I'm like, "Well, I was actually speedrunning it, and I like legitly did all the DLCs, including the main game within 55 hours." The original game actually took me 45 hours. So the two DLCs were an extra 10, but it was
Mm-hmm.
still like really, that was like still like the longest game this generation was The Witcher 3. Like
T Reaper, why do you rush your games? Like, I don't get that. Why do people rush their games?
I
What
find
is
it
the
I
point
like
of
being
rushing your experience?
everybody who watches my channel like knows this, that I love being the first one to say, "Yo, I'm done, bitches," and then I'll just
I'm
like
done with this game,
I'm
and
done.
I'll never play it again.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm like, even when I was on Beastfire, Dealer always asked me that, and I'm like, it's because I enjoy being the first one done, and I like being the one to
How about
constantly.
you just enjoy the game, like,
No,
completely?
that's actually how I enjoy it. I enjoy rushing it. That's like the thrill. Like I like being the
I don't
first.
get that.
I like being the first
I
one
took
done.
my time with, like, games like Fallout 4 and Shadow Mordor, and I had way more fun.
Yeah, like well with games that take time, like I can't speedrun them. Like it doesn't work. So like games like here's a perfect example. Final Fantasy 15. I tried to speedrun that shit, but because it's behind a level lock, I couldn't do it. So I had to redo it. And it ended up being to where I actually boosted for 5 hours, and then once I was at the boosting level requirement, I just ran right through it. So I had to do this. I had to do the game twice. But since I did it twice, the second time around, I already knew what I was doing, so it was a lot easier. But though, like games like Final Fantasy and Witcher, like the RPGs that are behind a level lock, like you can't speedrun. Like they can't. You have to take your time with them, and you have to level up, and you have to go through them that way, and that's how they get beaten. So, but like shooters are really easy to speedrun. Like like certain adventure games are really easy to do that. Like Assassin's Creed can be done that way. Not so much Black Flag, but like the like Syndicate could be done that way. But I just like any game that like legitimately takes me more than like 30 hours earns my honest respect, because like you actually have me in front of my television for 30 hours. Like I give that game props for any game that takes me over 30 hours. But I haven't seen one this year yet. and all these games are taken under 15 hours, and it's just like
How long did it take you to beat Quantum Break?
Quantum Break was 7.5 hours,
Okay.
and it was actually 14 if you do it twice, because to get the full scope of Quantum Break, you have to run both plot lines, so you have to run it twice.
I didn't play it. I didn't play it twice because I felt like the
Well,
story was done for me.
you get more achievements if you do it twice. So like the first run was like you got to keep in mind that there's in between each act there's a 20-minute like video, like a 20-minute episode. So that adds on to the time of the game, and also like the running of the
Yeah, that's true.
levels. So like it was about 7.5 hours for one run, and I was actually I was like I think I was the first one done on that situation as well, but I could be wrong. But you have everybody that's like on my friends list all playing these games now, but all these games are all old to me because I've already beaten them. So it's like the only like some games I'll come back to if it has a multiplayer component. Like Titanfall OG is like a perfect example because I wanted to rape noobs, and like basically I wanted to see how noobish is Titanfall 1 nowadays compared to like the old school days when it was
And I bet you
massively
were
good.
pleasantly
I was
surprised.
pleasantly surprised how noobish like people are. Like I was
They
really
sucked.
like
We
they
shitted on them so bad.
like I'm like, is this like the first time you played a shooter? Like it was like so thing. Now, granted
Yeah, it
there
was like they never played a freaking game in their life.
granted there are good people who play this game, so there are still some good people in these lobbies, and those will be the lobbies that I will like sometimes go negative, or I will sometimes I'll go even. But like when like you're basically like matched with all Gen 1s, which is like the first leveling system, like they all suck. So it's like really fun, and I love
It's really funny. Yeah.
it's really funny because they don't have the experience to combat you, and then it gets really interesting when you like
They don't even
go.
run on the walls or anything.
But it's actually really pleasant because sometimes you get into a match with all Gen 10s and they suck as well. But that's probably because they either haven't played it in a while or they forgot how to play. So it's like it's
Or they
kind of
hacked.
yeah,
Right to Reaper.
or they accuse you of hacking. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I liked it that we finally lost after 30 matches when the girl finally accused us of hacking. I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's only because we let the noobs play with us.
Yeah, but
We let them join our team, and they sucked, and they made us go negative.
I mean, it was like it was a fun experience. Like I wish I could do this on Halo. God knows that would be so much fun.
Yeah, like kill noobs on Halo. But
Yeah,
like Halo is like the opposite of that.
Yeah, sorry, you're not gonna find noobs on Halo. There's very rarely do you find people that suck on Halo. So it's like
It's like trying to find somebody that sucks on Gears of War.
or find someone who
It's
sucks,
not.
or find someone who sucks on Call of Duty. Like it's very
Yeah,
rare.
people quit those games when they're bad at them. Like they just do.
Yeah, it's like
They're irritating when you're not good at the game.
yeah, it's but Titanfall's like that laid back experience that you can play.
Exactly.
You can kill the human
I was
component.
playing with one hand.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun, and I like Titanfall 1 over Titanfall 2 because Titanfall 2 kind of took the COD approach, but they kind of basically took out the multiplayer advantage out of
They
it.
took out the fun.
They took out the multiplayer fun out of it and the achievements and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't it didn't seem as it didn't take as much effort basically. But that's
Less effort than the first one, because the first one was pretty easy.
well, no, the leveling system on the first one was hard as fuck. That was probably the hardest journey I've had to go on, like as a gamer, was the Titanfall.
That's so
1.
ironic.
You legitimately have to learn every piece of the game to do the gen system. And I'm technically a Gen 20, so I did the gen system twice. So I'm technically Gen 10 on 2 tags. I'm Gen 10 on my own personal tag, and I'm Gen 10 on a friend's tag because I on my personal tag it took me 7 days to Gen 10. And then on my friend's tag, it took me 4 days because they had nerfed the generation system. And now with Titanfall 1, there's also the pro ranking system where you can choose to opt out of the regular generation system and opt into rank mode, and that is purely based on like how well you perform in a match. So that's basically the essence of the original Titanfall, and it's still fun to play to this day. And especially if you get into a lobby with those noobs, it's so much fun. Like
Yeah, it really is a great game.
yeah, and it's so fun to play, and like it's a lot more entertaining than the second one. I would prefer to play the first one over the second one. Like
I never played the second one because I bought the first one for $5, and then I sold the second one for 60, and I was like,
well, the only thing
nah.
the only thing the second one does better is it has a decent campaign. That's the only thing that it has better. It has a campaign.
Yeah, and it's only because the first one never had a campaign to begin with.
Yeah, pretty much. But they did a really good job with their campaign, and it possibly leads up to a Titanfall 3 if they ever even choose to do that, which I don't know if they'll even do that, but that would.
I'm curious to see what they would do for Titanfall 3. I think they'd use like time powers or
I just
something.
didn't like that Titanfall 2 was tainted by the Sony COD fan base. I just didn't like that. That's basically
that was horrible.
That's what ruined the game was tainted by the COD fan base. And
you Sony fanboys ruined another Xbox game.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's.
I think Sunset Overdrive is next.
With the Sunset Overdrive 2, if they want to make that.
Yeah, they're like, we'll make it with or without Microsoft. That's like saying, fuck you. It's like saying, we don't like you anymore. So we're gonna do this without you.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Alright, well, with that being said, I think we're actually gonna get out of here. We will catch you on another time. If you guys liked this video, please leave a like, leave a comment in the comment section below with what we were talking about. Shout out to everybody that I mentioned, Portrock, Dealer Gaming, the Beast Fire Crew, Next Gen 720, everybody. Shout out to all my fan base. Thanks so much for the support. I'll try to upload a little bit more, but I do these videos as the topics come to me, and I haven't really been inspired as of late. So it's like this was like the first one, and I appreciate Halo Storm for coming on today. It was a good chat, and it was actually really interesting. Hopefully next week we'll have.
And guys, when the live stream is over, I'm gonna leave the link to the Discord.
Yeah,
this is where all the Xbox community can join up and talk to each other.
Join Halo Storm's Discord. He's got that thing popping. He's got like everybody in there. He kind of proved Jay Sentry's wrong that they don't use their own Discord.
Yeah, I got everybody to use it.
He got everybody to get on there, like everybody. That's actually, I think the only people he doesn't have there yet is Crap Gamer and the BGST crew yet, but he's got.
I don't even know if I want Crap Gamer on there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but he's got everybody else. He's got Next Gen in there. The only I think he's got Xbot in there. He's got K Mega in there. He's got I
got Live Wires in there. I got everybody in there.
Yeah, I think the next big thing would be to get Mr. 100 in there, but we all know Mr. 100 doesn't like Discord.
Ooh, I gotta talk to him. About that. I recently got Live Wires in there. I've been getting like mad people in there today.
But anyway, all right. This is T Reaper. I'm out. Thanks so much for watching. Halo Storm, you can do your outro.
Yep. I'm gonna leave a link to the Discord at the bottom when the show is over. Also, you guys can check out my YouTube channel. You can find me on Beam and Xbox Live at SWY Halo Storm 3. And that's it.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day.